Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Noah Cruz Carpenter, and thank you, my blood relatives, for coming and hearing my speech. And now, please make yourselves known for the camera and my instructor who will be listening to this by saying hello.
Hello, I'm Sherry.
Hello, I'm Rocky.
I'm Maxine.
Thank you. Now, the man who gained and lost, Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, a militarist and a politician. Marcus Lepidus was known as one of the triumvirs of Rome who tried to lead but was betrayed by those who trusted. This speech will provide a great insight to the man who was Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, his family, what titles he achieved from his family's name, and what became of him when after he gained these titles. Much about the family of Marcus Aemilius Lepidus was unknown, but what we do know is that he came from a prominent Roman family. His father, his name was, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, was Marcus Aemilius Lepidus. So for us in our society today, he would be senior. And so this was the family name of Marcus Aemilius Lepidus. And his father was a prominent Roman politician, and he was known as the man who marched on Rome. There were many Romans that did that, but he was one of the most well-known Romans that tried it. And Marcus Aemilius Lepidus feared for his son because he wanted him to have a chance on the glory. So he was able to give his son the prominent family name when his brother could not pass on an heir to continue his family line, and his brother had already made a name for himself. So his father takes his stuff from his brother and gives it to Lepidus. And so this allows Lepidus to have the family name and all the fame and glory that comes from it. It gives him a high standing among Roman civilization. And so we will see what titles he gains from this new gained family legacy. Marcus Lepidus was given the nobility title, and many great feats were achieved by gaining this. For one thing, Marcus Lepidus gained his first title as praetor of Rome during the riots of 62 BC. And a praetor was like a policeman or governor, sheriff, if you would say. And then soon, civil war breaks out. You see this? This is a map of Rome at the time of Julius Caesar. And so Marcus Lepidus joined the military, and he was able to serve under Julius Caesar. He sides with him when civil war breaks out against Caesar's rival, Pompey the Great. And so the war ends and Pompey's defeated. And so for his siding with him, Caesar makes Lepidus governor of Spain. And so after ruling it for a time, he returns to Rome in triumph, where he was elected a consul for a year. And then, when Caesar comes to Rome, Lepidus is made his second in command until his death in 44 BC. So then, the floodgates open up again because Caesar is assassinated, and now there's this big power vacuum. So to quickly organize themselves, the great nephew and Caesar's appointed heir Octavian takes control, and he decides to form, the best way to manage Rome was to form an alliance. And so by the time civil war breaks out, Lepidus has control of Gaul and Spain and holds the noble title of Pontifex Maximus. And Gaul is modern-day France, so he has governance over Spain and France. But when he joins the triumvirate, he joins it with Octavian, or Caesar Augustus, as he would later be known as, and Mark Antony. But when he joins the triumvirate, it is not long before he is betrayed by his fellow conspirators. And they charge him with fake accounts of him conspiring with another enemy of Rome, or their political enemy, to Caesar and Antony, as Sextus Pompey, the son of Pompey the Great, who Caesar warred against. But those weren't true in a way. And so they take, as punishment, what the lands that he had governments over, and he's reduced to nothing now. But the triumvirate would be renewed in 37 BC, but he would only have the title. He wasn't included in any major power within the alliance. So basically, he's just a symbol in the alliance. He has nothing to do. And so later, Octavian would, to keep Lepidus on his side, would give him the confining command over North Africa. And this was the backwater of the Roman Empire, so he couldn't do anything. So a man like Lepidus is essentially wasted on this backwater place. And so this seems like a fitting end for Lepidus. He's betrayed and still has somewhat hold over some good holdings. It's not the end. So Lepidus, in order to try and get back at Octavian, he would try to start a revolt in Sicily using the legions that were under his command, but it would fail when he's betrayed by his own legionnaires. And so Lepidus was banished for a time, but was allowed to return by Octavian, and Lepidus essentially retired from public life and lived out to old age. And so, in conclusion, it's really interesting to read about people like this because you never know how the stories are going to play out. It's also to remember that a man like Lepidus is not mentioned in in-depth histories today. The only thing you ever hear about are like the major ones like Octavian or Mark Antony. But when you go in depth, there's a lot more that you can see from this. So we saw that Lepidus was a prominent Roman figure. He came from a prominent Roman family. He gained many titles from this and was joined the triumvirate and was betrayed by the men he worked with. Thank you.